Hello there. My name is Dr. Bill Crawford. I'm a psychologist, speaker, life coach, corporate trainer. I've had the pleasure of writing 4 books and doing 2 PBS specials. And I've created this short video to share with you what professionals around the world tell me are the 4 must-haves, or the essential elements they look for in hiring a speaker, trainer, or life coach. The first, as you might imagine, is content. Professionals today don't want to hear a lot of cute stories or motivational cliches. They want information that they can apply to their lives immediately. But not just any information, they want new information. They don't want to hear about active listening skills or writing down one's goals. They don't want to hear traditional stress management material or traditional leadership information. They've heard it all before, and they're just too busy to sit and listen to someone tell them something they already know. Once they've determined the information is new, now they want to know, is the information credible? Where's the science behind this information? Are you just making this up, or has this been scientifically validated somewhere? Once they've determined the information is credible, now they want to know, is the speaker credible? What qualifies you to stand up here and teach this? Do you have a degree in this information? Have you been teaching it successfully for a number of years? And of course, they always want the learning experience to be enjoyable. You can have a credentialed speaker with really good information, but if the presentation is boring, they've checked out. That's why I always bring a lot of energy and humor to all of my presentations. So much so that people keep telling me I remind them of Steve Martin. Hey, I think it's the hair, but I always take it as a compliment because I know it means people have been entertained as well as informed. Professionals also tell me that they're comfortable with the fact that I do have a master's degree and a Ph.D. in what I'm teaching, and that I've been teaching it successfully for over 26 years. What they tell me is most important, however, is this new scientific perspective that I bring to all of my presentations. You see, when I was getting my Ph.D., I learned that everything we think and feel and do and say, how we act, how we react, how others react to us is all controlled by how the brain processes information. Therefore, I've created a system that shows people how to access this upper 80% of the brain. This is where we learn. This is where we access our best and bring it to life. I also show them how to avoid that lower 20% of the brain. This is where all our stress and frustration and anxiety is. I call this new perspective and the book that I wrote about it, Life from the Top of the Mind. And it is so inclusive, it allows me to address everything from the problem or what gets in the way of us bringing our best to life. I call it living life so that no person or situation can stress you out, jerk your chain, rattle your cage, to the solution, how to access that upper 80% of the brain, bring that clarity, confidence, and creativity you need to life, and learn the skills you need to succeed. I also show people how to engage others, especially those others that may be resistant to what you're wanting them to know or may be upset with you. How do you engage them in such a way where they shift from that resistant brain to that receptive brain so they actually hear and understand what you're wanting them to know? This allows me to address almost any topic. I can talk about leadership from the top of the mind or stress management. I call it all stressed up and nowhere to go. I can talk about difficult people, innovation, creativity, anything that has to do with how we think, feel, act, and react. Anything that has to do with how the brain processes information. Professionals around the world tell me they love this new scientific perspective because they now have a way of understanding their emotions, their behaviors, and a way of influencing their life and the lives of others. That's it. I try to keep these videos short. I know we're all busy. I hope you've enjoyed learning what professionals tell me are the 4 must-haves, the essential elements they look for in hiring a speaker, trainer, or life coach. And I hope you're intrigued by this life from the top of the mind perspective and want to learn more about how I can apply this information to your next event in order to help you achieve your goals. If so, again, I encourage you to contact me. You can call me, you can email me, you can hit the contact button at the top of the page, and I'll be happy to answer any question you have. Looking forward to hearing from you.